Hey there. Have you ever had a thought pop into your mind that was so random, so dark or disturbing or upsetting that you wondered, what the heck is wrong with me? Maybe it felt super dark or out of character, like it didn't even belong to you. I get it. These are intrusive thoughts and they can be terrifying. They make you wonder if they mean something about who you are. But here's the truth. Everyone has intrusive thoughts. These thoughts are random, unwanted, and yes, totally normal. But I understand that even though they're normal, they can feel anything but. They can make you feel scared, out of control, ashamed. Today, I'm going to show you how to manage those intrusive thoughts so they don't take over your mental space or your emotional well being. I'm Suzette Bray. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I help people step off of the emotional roller coaster and develop the superpower of emotional regulation. If you're ready to take control of your mental health with practical, actionable tools, you are in the right place. Today, I'm going to walk you through 4 steps that will help you detach from intrusive thoughts and neutralize their emotional impact. Are you ready? Let's jump in. Let's start with our first tool. And this is a pretty powerful one. It's labeling your intrusive thought as just a thought. Now, when an intrusive thought pops up, it can feel all consuming, like it's dangerous or important. And you might feel like you have to pay attention to it. But here's the thing, thoughts are not facts. They can just be random mental events that your brain produces. They don't reflect who you are or what you believe. Labeling the thought as just a thought helps you create distance between you and that scary or disturbing thought. Let me give you an example. Imagine it occurs to you one day, what if everyone secretly hates me? That's a pretty upsetting thought. The first thing you do is you stop and label it. That is just a random thought. That is not true. By labeling it, you're reminding yourself that this thought is just noise and that it isn't important and it doesn't define you. Now, this might feel strange at first, but the more you practice labeling, the easier it becomes to recognize that these thoughts don't deserve your attention. They're just mental chatter, and you don't need to engage with them. Now, let's move on to step 2, catch and release. This technique helps you acknowledge the thought and then let it pass instead of getting stuck in it. And I know what you're thinking. Release the thought. That's kind of easier said than done. And you're right. It can feel impossible just to let go of a thought, especially one that's really bothering you. But catch and release isn't about forcing the thought to go away, it's about acknowledging it without giving it any more power. Here's how it works. When an intrusive thought comes up, first catch it. You can say, okay, there's that thought again. It's just your brain trying to grab your attention. And after you catch it, you want to release it. You can picture the thought like a cloud floating by or a train passing through the station. You don't have to get on board, you just let it pass. So let's try a quick exercise together. Close your eyes for a second and think of a thought that's been bothering you. Now, imagine that thought is a leaf floating down a stream. Watch it drift by. You don't need to hold on to it, it's just floating past you. And it's okay if it comes back. Let it float by again without reacting. And here's something important. Sometimes the thought won't release right away, and that's okay. The goal isn't to make the thought disappear instantly. The goal is to notice it without getting all entangled up with it. The more you practice, the more you'll see that these thoughts lose their grip over time. Now, let's talk about one of my favorite tools for handling intrusive thoughts. This is called thought diffusion. Thought diffusion helps you separate yourself from your thoughts by seeing them as just words, not something you need to take so seriously. So, here's what we're going to do. The next time you catch yourself having an intrusive thought, I want you to sing it out loud. For example, imagine your intrusive thought is something like, um, I made a mistake at work and now I'm going to get fired. Now, instead of letting that thought take over, I want you to sing it in different musical styles. Let's try opera. I made a mistake at work and I'm going to get fired. Now, how about heavy metal? I made a mistake at work and I'm going to get fired. Or maybe a little country. I made a mistake at work and I'm gonna get fired. The idea here is that when you sing your thoughts, especially in funny or exaggerated ways, it becomes hard to take them so seriously. It helps you see the thought as just words, just noise, rather than something to be afraid of or stressed about. This technique creates distance between you and the thought, allowing you to recognize that it doesn't have to control you. The more ridiculous you make it, the easier it is to diffuse its emotional power. All right, let's dive into the last step. And I'll be real with you, this one can be tough. It's called acceptance. And I know what you might be thinking. Why would I want to accept these awful intrusive thoughts? It seems really counterintuitive, doesn't it? But here's the thing, the more you fight an intrusive thought, the more it pushes back. It's kind of like when you try to get a beach ball to stay underwater. The harder you push it back down, the more it pushes back up. Or let's take a different example. Ever had a song stuck in your head? Of course you have. You don't even like the song, but it just plays on a loop. The more you try to stop thinking about it, the more it seems to get louder and louder and louder. But when you stop resisting and just let it play in the background, it eventually fades out on its own, right? That's what acceptance is like with intrusive thoughts. Acceptance doesn't mean you like the thought or that you approve of it or that you agree with it. It simply means you're allowing the thought to be there, just like that annoying song in your head, without fighting against it or letting it control your entire day. So let's try this together. Think of an intrusive thought that's been bothering you. Maybe it's a what if thought or something that keeps popping up and stressing you out. Instead of trying to push it away, I'd like you to try to say to yourself, this is an uncomfortable thought, but I'm okay with it being here. I don't need to do anything about it right now. Just like that annoying song in your head, the thought might still be there, but the more you allow it to be there without reacting or trying to push it away, the less power it will have over you. It's not about loving the thought. It's about being okay with its presence and knowing that it's going to fade on its own. I know this is tough and it can definitely feel uncomfortable at first, but the more you practice acceptance, the more you'll notice that the thought, just like that annoying song, gets quieter. It loses its grip on you. Acceptance takes practice, but it can be one of the most powerful ways to manage intrusive thoughts. Let's recap the 4 steps we covered today to manage intrusive thoughts. 1. Label the thought as just a thought. 2. Catch and release. Acknowledge the thought, then let it pass. 3. Diffuse the thought. Make it ridiculous by singing it very badly. And four, practice acceptance. Allow the thought to be there without reacting to it. Remember, managing intrusive thoughts is a process. Some days are definitely going to be harder than others, and that's really normal. But with practice, these tools will help you reduce the emotional impact of those thoughts and help you feel more in control. Please be patient with yourself. It will get easier over time. I would love to hear from you. What's one technique you're going to try the next time an intrusive thought pops up? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mental health tips. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.